On the campaign trail today, Vice President Kamala Harris took on former President Donald Trump.
So it comes down to this. Donald Trump thinks the government is in a better position to tell women what's in their best interest than women are to know for themselves. But Joe Biden and I trust women.
2 years out from the Dobbs decision, a new CBS News poll finds President Biden leads Trump among voters who say the issue of abortion will be a major factor in their vote. CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins us now. Nikole, tell us about Vice President Harris and her emphasis on this issue today.
Well, I think what was interesting about the vice president is she tried to draw the contrast, which is what we have seen the Biden campaign do, both the president and the vice president, draw that contrast between how they are going to handle this issue of abortion rights versus the former president, really pinning the blame squarely on him in terms of the nomination of these three conservative justices, which kind of changed the trajectory of the court, ultimately resulting in that Dobbs decision, to continuing to argue that the former president and Republicans writ large, in their view, will pursue some type of national abortion ban. So that is the argument that they both have been making to voters. But what was interesting about her speech today is that she took things a step further. And in light of the former president's recent conviction in New York, she used the terminology saying that the former president is guilty of stealing reproductive rights and freedoms from the women of America. So I just thought that was an interesting choice of words on her part. Of course, she is a former prosecutor, so she kind of used that as part of her argument. But certainly, I think an argument we may see her make going forward.
Nikole, tell me about your conversation with abortion rights advocate Kate Cox.
Well, the vice president was joined on stage today by Kate Cox, a woman and mother from Texas who unsuccessfully sued the state when its abortion ban went into effect. Ultimately, she had to seek an abortion outside of the state, and that was primarily because the child she was carrying at the time was in danger of potentially being born stillborn. And so to try to get ahead of that, that's why she was seeking that abortion. But I talked to her about the difficult decision that she had to make at that time. And now fast forwarding to today, where she says that she is now 3 months pregnant and very hopeful about that pregnancy, but still concerned about the path ahead. Take a listen.
I feel so happy with where we are. It's also very scary because emergencies and pregnancies happen in a moment. Your water can break too soon, miscarriage, and if those emergencies happen, my first call would be my lawyer, my second call would be my doctor. And so that's really scary to live in a place where that's my reality. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, given what happened with the last pregnancy, I imagine to a certain extent it may be a bit bittersweet.
Yeah. So it's hard to have those two feelings, to be so incredibly happy and also very scared, at the same time. And she talked more to me about that conflicting emotion that she feels, of course, being happy that so far her pregnancy and her baby appears to be healthy, but also knowing that at any given time, if there is some type of complication, she could find herself right back in that position that she found herself, a year plus ago, when she had to make that difficult decision to terminate her pregnancy and not being able to in the state that she was living. And she said it's those kinds of difficult decisions that many women are confronted with, and that she doesn't want them to have to make just as she did. So that is why, of course, she was campaigning with the vice president, hoping that if they win a second term, that eventually some form of abortion access could be federally codified.
Nikole Killion on the front lines of one of the biggest issues of this campaign. We really appreciate your reporting and perspective. Thank you.